The chair of SIU's automotive department, Mike Bierman, says that he's noticing a big shift in the industry.
Well, there's a major shift occurring right now in the automotive industry.
The shift to electric vehicles is happening, but it may not be for the reason you think. It is in part to help reduce CO2 emissions, but most electricity is still generated from polluting sources like coal.
There's a whole motor control unit which controls the electric motor function.
Alicia Johnston, an assistant instructor at the school, says it's more about efficiency than perfection.
There's mechanical losses, there's heat losses, there's all these things that have to go into gasoline, so you really only get about 30 to 40% of that fuel actually being used to propel the car. With electric vehicles, like 90% of the energy that you put in is actually being used to propel the car, so it's a much more efficient system overall.
But there is more than just eco-consciousness driving the market in the direction of electrification.
That's being fueled by, one, some consumer demand. The other is advancing technology, as well as the business opportunities for the manufacturers.
Seems like we're in a much higher demand now than we used to be for the electric vehicle classes.
So much so that it's reflecting in students' educations.
Rivian is coming out. It's in, they have a manufacturing facility in Illinois. They're wanting to hire our graduates. And so, they want to be prepared. They're like, oh, well, this is, it's not just a novel thing anymore. It's really, the industry is really starting to shift.
But what does it mean for our region? And are electric cars even feasible here? Bierman says the benefits of electrification may actually favor areas like ours.
Rural drivers are typically traveling more miles, longer distances with that, so they have increased fuel costs, as well as sometimes increased maintenance because of the increased mileage. And so with an electric vehicle, rural drivers may actually see less of their annual salary going towards mobility.
Electric vehicles may be increasing in number, but Johnston says that doesn't mean we've seen the last of more conventional technologies.
Let's be clear, the internal combustion engine is not going anywhere anytime in the very near future. Over-the-road trucking, that kind of stuff, there's positive there, but the technology's not really there yet to have over-the-road freight trucks, things like that, having electric vehicle technology. So diesel's not going anywhere. Gasoline's probably not going anywhere. Overall, there will always be a niche market for gasoline engines.
With improving technology and an increasingly competitive cost to own, Bierman says it's realistic to start considering an EV for your next ride.
Right now, it's really going to depend upon the consumer and what are their needs, where are they traveling, and the type of vehicle that they're sort of looking at. So each consumer has to sort of self-assess what are my driving habits, what are my driving needs, mobility needs that I have, then what might be available to me to achieve those particular needs.